everybody. My name is Lindsey Hidenrite. I'm in the class of 2018, and I'm also the CAT coordinator and a board member for Helping Hands Pet Rescue. And today I'm going to talk about how vet students can get involved in the organization, go ahead and start some life-saving and gain some insight to shelter medicine, as well as some skills that they can use in the future. Helping Hands Pet Rescue was founded in 2000 by some vets and techs in the area that decided that they wanted to do something to help decrease euthanasia rates. They were officially made a 501c3 in 2003, and we are a nonprofit, no-kill private pet rescue focusing on cats and dogs in the area, specifically ones that are at risk for euthanasia. In 2000, we adopted out about 65 pets, and last year we adopted out 958 pets. So we're hoping to break 1,000 this year. We'll see. But just to give an idea of what the climate was in Alachua County at the time of Helping Hands Pet Rescue starting, 8,063 pets were euthanized at Animal Services in 2000. And then this graph here kind of shows what we have done along the way. This green line down here is this year so far, and the red line underneath it is last year's. So this year so far, we're down 93% against the baseline rate of 2000, and this was in June. And also already from last year, we're down 29% just from last year's baseline. Maddie's Fund had a huge hand in this. From I think 2000 to 2010, they were supporting us yearly, and then they've continued to support us in different ways. So really, Maddie's Fund is kind of the big funder in what started this movement towards a no-kill community in Alachua County. It includes Helping Hands and several other rescues in the area. I know Gainesville Pet Rescue, the Humane Society, Puppy Hill Farm, and a couple of others, as well as Alachua County Animal Services themselves. Helping Hands Pet Rescue has one paid person, and she just started getting paid this year. And that is our executive director, Andrea, who's up in the top picture with me after last year's Maddie's event, where we did 198 adoptions in 2 days. I'm the CAT coordinator. Anna, who's in the picture with me in the bottom, after a day of going and taking 11 kittens from Animal Services, is our volunteer coordinator, and then we have an executive board of 7 members. We are, besides Andrea, we're completely volunteer-based. So we have a lot of members of the communities, a lot of retired people that like to just come and walk dogs on Saturdays, a lot of student organizations that get involved with us with dog walking on Saturdays. We rely a lot on foster homes. The CAT side of the program is completely foster-based, and the dog side of the program utilizes foster homes as well. But vet students, we've found, especially in the past couple of years, as higher members of our organization have been getting into vet school, we've found that the vet students are truly one of the biggest assets to the rescue, and they can help us out a lot. Kind of basic volunteer things that we can help with. We always can use transportation help getting pets to and from Animal Services, into foster homes and adoption events. On Saturdays, we need dog walkers and cat cuddlers. But the big things that I wanted to talk to the vet students about were fostering and adoption counseling. Adoption counseling is a huge part of our Saturday adoption events. As a part of adoption counseling, you'll be trained to review applications. So, you know, we do not deny many homes, but we do have to decide if a home is not necessarily ready for a pet, or if they're not ready for this particular pet, and go through those questions and talk to the potential families about reasons why they may not be ready for a pet, or why they might need to look at a different pet. The big thing for this that really helps with vet students is you're going to get a lot of experience going over basic medical records. And you'll have some people that have had animals their whole life, and they don't need you to hear hear from you in this field, but then we get a lot of first-time pet owners, especially here in a college town. So you're going to get experience explaining to them what vaccinations are, explaining to them what heartworm and flea preventatives are, explaining to someone the heartworm treatment regimen that an animal has gone through, or why the animal's been spayed and neutered. So it's really, really good experience talking to clients in the future. And then you'll also be answering basic training questions and any behavioral issue questions that they may have. So I have never potty trained a puppy before. Don't have any desire to do that, but I can tell you how to potty train a puppy. So you'll get just, whoop, did it die? No, okay. It's just kind of the more and more you say something, the more you learn. And I think that this would be something that's really important. I mean, in clinical skills this year, we've started doing like client talking. Well, now you can go out and you can talk to 20 people in one day about a medical record and get that experience. We will have a training session next week for adoption counseling. And we use adoption counselors on our Saturday adoption events. Like, honestly, if you can give half of an adoption event worth of time a month, if we can get enough adoption counselors, then that's only you giving like 4 hours a month. And then we can not be slammed every Saturday. As far as fostering dogs go, we do have a kennel that most of our dogs go to, but we do have specific cases where we will like to get the dogs out into a foster home. If they have any behavioral issues, we get a ton of hoarding case animals. Like, we got 33 dachshunds and shih tzus last year or something like that from one home. And those dogs have no idea what it's like to dog. So foster homes are really important for cases like that, and just like teaching them that humans aren't horrible people anymore. We get a lot of underage puppies and dogs that we'll be looking for foster homes for. And this is also a really good chance to get experience in dealing with any medical issues. I always tell people, like, as a vet, it's a lot better to speak from experience than to speak from what you read in a book. So we take a ton of heartworm positive dogs, and we are always looking for foster homes that are knowledgeable and able to care for heartworm positive dogs, because they are a population that is at risk for really bad medical complications. But it's something that when you are treating a client's dog for heartworms and they say, like, I can't keep the dog on crate rest, you can be like, I feel ya. I fostered a dog with heartworms and it's hard, and you can give them tips. We see a lot of skin issues. We see a lot of Demodex, and those are dogs that do a lot better in a foster home than a kennel situation. And then occasionally, knock on wood, I would say probably about once a year, parvo sweeps through the county, and we'll have some puppies that break with parvo that do better in a foster home once we've spent $4,000 hospitalizing them here at the vet school. Cats. I love cats. All of our cats live in foster homes. The cat kennels are my bathrooms at my apartment. So we take in on mostly kittens. We do take in quite a few adult cats, but the kittens are almost always battling upper respiratory infections. And so you'll get a lot of experience pilling cats and dealing with nose and eye ickies. We also get quite a few cats that have orthopedic injuries, quite a few amputations or crate rest or casting, stuff like that. And we get a lot of ocular injuries, a lot of enucleations. And then we get the occasional, like, random case, like Freddie down here, who was a senior cat that was an owner surrender animal services who had HCM that we did cardiac workups on, and he was started on medications and adopted at Maddie's. So just an idea of some of the things that, like, you can get experience with fostering. Some very yummy pictures. So, like, we had Hawkeye up here who came with a ruptured eyeball that we had enucleated. And this was Spider. These pictures were only taken 7 days apart from each other. He came to us with severe conjunctivitis, severely underweight, really horrible upper respiratory infection. And then after a week in a foster home, he'd gained like 1.5 pounds, and Doxy knocked everything out, and he was doing really well. This down here was DB. He was my first experience with megacolon, and we were able to manage him medically, and he just recently was adopted as well. And then a cat that had to have his leg amputated because it was completely shattered in like 4 different places after being hit by a car. And then this was Xavier, a little kitten that I got that he couldn't even use his back legs. He had some kind of spinal deformity, and after a month of physical therapy, he was running around like nothing ever happened. But at a shelter, he would have been euthanized. So these are all cats that ended up being really happy, healthy cats and found forever homes that would have been euthanized if we hadn't had foster homes that could have taken them in. Not to mention the amount of experience that each foster gained from helping with these cases. We also see a lot of cruelty cases that are usually big learning experiences as well. This cat came into the local emergency clinic after some neighbors watched some kids pour gasoline on his face. Mercy was a dog that was big in the news. Some kids saw someone beating her in the parking lot at the Polos, and she ended up coming to Helping Hands Pet Rescue after the Veterinary Community Outreach Program did a lot of workup on her. They did CT scans and everything. She had like fractured ribs and a head fracture, and she's doing great now, and actually one of our board members ended up adopting her. And then these are 3 cruelty cases down here that I worked with. One was an embedded collar that was named Turkey that I handled on intake at the emergency clinic, and then we ended up taking to the program that Hillary actually fostered for us. Lady came to us weighing about 24 pounds, and it later turned out that like 6 of those pounds was a splenic mass. And so we ended up taking her to surgery when she gained some weight, and a couple of Helping Hands volunteers got to help with the surgery, which was really cool. And she ended up going through chemotherapy, and the internal medicine doctor that did her chemotherapy ended up adopting her. And then Nina down here was another cruelty case that you can see just after 5 days of being in a foster home, she was already looking tons better. Clinical skills that you can gain from helping with us, you'll get very familiar with the drugs that we commonly use in shelters, as well as deworming protocols, because we deworm everything on intake because they usually have lots of nasties in there, as well as vaccination protocols and administration. As the cat coordinator, when I have a foster that is a vet student, I try to let them do as much as possible under my supervision. So like I had a foster last week that got to do her first blood draw on a cat, and it was her foster cat, and we needed to draw blood for feline AIDS leukemia testing, and she did great. As well as administering vaccines, administering medications, and like I said before, just being able to speak from experience when you're talking to clients, because most people don't deal with this stuff in their normal pets. So shelter pets give you lots of different things to talk about and get experience with. And then as you see those cases throughout the year, you'll be able to give the clients a lot more, a better advice because you've been there. We are looking for someone to help with the cat coordinator position. Thanks to the Maddie's Fund, we're now able to offer a $500 semester stipend for that. I think, are you a first year? Only first year here, woo! I'll send out more information about this to all the rest of the first years as well. So basically when I go into clinics, I'm not going to be able to continue to do this. So we're looking for someone that I can train this year to take over, but you'll still have the support of me in a 4th year that used to do the cat coordinating, as well as other volunteers that have already helped a ton with it, like Laura. But just kind of, it's just you're managing the cat population in the rescue. So you're in charge of evaluating the cats and animal services to see if they're going to be good candidates for the program. following medical protocols to deal with any illnesses, the deworming protocols, vaccination protocols, working with VCOP, who does a lot of our vet care as well as our spays and neuters, and then we have a couple of local vets that we work with as well. Foster homes are probably the thing that take up the most time, but securing and supporting those foster homes with supplies and answering any questions that they have. Medical records is something that's really important, so you'll learn how to keep track of everything that you do to all of the cats, where you'll have a week like I had last week where literally every single cat broke with upper respiratory, so I spent like 2 hours updating medical records. It was lots of fun. And scheduling surgery appointments. This is going to be like your second year, so May 2016 to May 2017. And we're asking that you email a CV to Helping Hands Pet Rescue by October 1st, but I may extend that deadline a little bit since not that many first years got to come to the meeting today. So a couple of dates to remember. The adoption counseling is going to be next Tuesday. We haven't decided on a time yet, but if you search Helping Hands Pet Rescue Volunteers on Facebook and join that group, we'll be announcing the times for that, and then you'll also see all of the other opportunities that we have to get involved. And then also we're having a fundraiser on Thursday at the House of Beer downtown. If you want to come out, it's from 7 to 11. They are donating $1 from every beer purchase to help the pets. And it'll be a good time to meet everyone involved in the organization when we're not super stressed out at an adoption event. So yeah, any questions at all?